I'll say it very honestly, and I'll say it very straight. Immigration is the fault and all of the problems that we're having, because we cannot get them to sign legislation. We cannot get them even to the negotiating table. And I say it's very strongly the Democrats' fault. They're obstruction. They're really obstructionist, and they are obstructing. The United States will not be a migrant camp, and it will not be a refugee holding facility. Won't be. You look at what's happening in Europe, you look at what's happening in other places. We can't allow that to happen to the United States, not on my watch.
I am so outraged right now. I am boiling angry right now that the mainstream media is so deceptive, so brazen, so over-the-top arrogant that they think they can sell the hoax that the U.S. has children from Latin America and other areas that are pouring in illegally with smugglers, their parents that are endangering them, you name it. And they're being put in clean, nice facilities that are set up as schools while we find out who the hell they came in with through the hundreds of thousands that have been killed trying to get into the U.S. by the murderous, barbarous gangs in Mexico. And to have that turned around, and to have Democratic Congress people banging on doors saying it's hot out here, and they get inside and it's 72 degrees, and they go, well, doesn't matter, you should let them go, like Obama started doing. Before he followed the U.S. law and the kids got taken care of, but he started loading them on buses and shipping them to Democrat and Catholic charities run by the Democrats, just disappearing them, many of them found in sex trafficking. And I've got even CNN reporting that right here. So let's just let kids randomly show up with who the hell knows who, and then just turn them loose into the U.S. That is completely evil. But we first documented that 4 years ago with Jakari Jackson and Adon Salazar, where we caught the buses and in McAllen, Texas, and the local emergency manager saying, look, here's the order. Obama told us, let them in, load them on buses, and they're sent to Democrat charities. Folks, Hillary's top lady got caught in Haiti trying to ship out a bunch of kids without documentation. Remember, and she got a major smuggling charge and was convicted. But when the president ordered it, it still happened. Think about the smokescreen they're using here and how huge this is. That you've got the former head of the CIA, Hayden, saying that this is like concentration camps for the kids. And that all of this is going on. The Democrats yelling and screaming, saying there's no air conditioning until they get inside. All Trump's doing is following U.S. law. And then you get the UN coming out saying that this is like a concentration camp and Trump is a criminal, when the UN has this incredible history of mass sex slavery in Africa, in Haiti, in the Balkans, in Asia, in Latin America. It is incredible. There's AP on screen. Unbelievable. We were in Haiti months before that broke and first reported on it with senators in Haiti. Just like we reported on and broke the latest mole in the Trump campaign and the last two moles. We're going to break more in the next segment with Roger Stone exclusively and Matt Bracken with his analysis. But let me, because I was mentioning it, get to the president's speech that's still ongoing, but the first is very, very powerful, where he lays it all out. We're live linked to it on Infowars.com and Newswars.com. The president exposes the massive hoax that he's even in control of this. He's just following the law. He defaulted back to the law that Obama started violating halfway into his presidency. First 4 years, Obama followed the law, put them in these detention centers. They weren't as nice. They've been beefed up and made nicer. He's making the children detention centers great again. But with Obama, put our article back up during his speech. I want to show people our article from 4 years ago with the HD footage of the emergency manager saying, we're ordered to not even ask who they are, load them, men, women, children, up in buses, and just sometimes unaccounted 10-year-olds, and just ship them to Illinois, you name it. Wow. You imagine you're going to an airport, and you come in, and there's some little kids there, and the government just takes them and says, we're going to just turn them loose outside the airport to some random people? You'd say, is this a movie? But they do it. And then when we try to stop it, they turn it around that we put kids in a frickin' concentration camp. America defeated Hitler. Now, the Democrats have said they want to put conservatives in re-education centers. That's in major bills. But that's their political enemies. Hell, Hillary said we want fun camps for men. They've said they want to re-educate us. They've turned the colleges into these re-education camps. But this is not happening for these children. They're being well taken care of. I have investigated it because I would investigate real FEMA centers and ran to some of these. And these are simply following law. They're well taken care of. Some of their parents are allowed into the country. They're not criminals. If they're not, they're shipped back. A lot of times they're being smuggled in by people that aren't even their parents or family. They're catching kids being smuggled in for the hungry market of child molesters in the U.S. and their spokespersons, the Democratic Party. That's who they are. It's why Salon. It's why the New York Times. It's why HBO. Vice is now promoting pedophilia because they want to normalize what they are into. They catch Democrats all the time on underground sex slave things in Austin, and it's always like the mayor's brother or city councilman's brother, and they're coyotes here in Austin beating people with baseball bats to suck money out of them. And if they don't do good, they're found dead in the desert. But then Robert Rodriguez makes movies where Don Johnson, the gringo, shoots the pregnant Mexican. That's not happening. The gringos aren't doing that. I dare you to find one case out of a million. But let me tell you who has killed hundreds of thousands of women and men, and that's the Mexican gangs. But, oh, let's not talk about those. Let's say Trump's building concentration camps where we're saving these children and not just throwing them to the four winds when they just made it through the death race they were in. Here's the president.
By the Vice President of the United States.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much. This is an incredible time for our country. I would say that our economy, and many of you know that very well, is doing better than it ever has done. Our employment numbers are the best that they've been, perhaps ever, but certainly in recorded history. Reports just came out, best in 44 years. Black unemployment is the lowest level in history. Hispanic unemployment, lowest level in history. Women unemployment, lowest level in 21 years. It started at 19, went up to 20, now it's up to 21. Very soon it's going to be in history. We're doing numbers like we've never seen, and we have some of the great industry leaders here today who I'm going to be introducing in a little while, quickly, and they're going to do so much with NASA and so many of the great things we're doing, but they understand full well what's happening. We've never seen a period of time like this. The whole world is looking up to the United States, and the United States is respected again. There was a period of time we were not so respected, not so long ago. The United States is respected again. If I might, I just wanted to make a brief statement on immigration and what's happening. And I'll say it very honestly, and I'll say it very straight. Immigration is the fault and all of the problems that we're having, because we cannot get them to sign legislation. We cannot get them even to the negotiating table. And I say it's very strongly the Democrats' fault. They're obstruction. They're really obstructionist, and they are obstructing. The United States will not be a migrant camp, and it will not be a refugee holding facility. Won't be. You look at what's happening in Europe, you look at what's happening in other places. We can't allow that to happen to the United States, not on my watch. For the rest of the world, you look at everything that's taking place. Pick up your newspapers this morning, and you see. We want safety and we want security for our country. If the Democrats would sit down instead of obstructing, we could have something done very quickly. Good for the children, good for the country, good for the world. It could take place quickly. We could have an immigration bill. We could have child separation. We're stuck with these horrible laws. They're horrible laws. What's happening is so sad. Is so sad. And it
We're
can
going to
be
stop right there. That's right. A lot of these laws were passed by Bill Clinton, and he's trying to reform it. The Democrats just say total open borders, let the UN run it all. We've got more of this coming up, but first, big exclusive news with Roger Stone, Matt Bracken, and more as Russiagate completely implodes.
You know, someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
You're a white male! You're a white man!
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
An illegal teenage immigrant from Honduras has been charged with killing his mother. Funes is a so-called dreamer protected under the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA.
A truck had smashed the family's car on the right side. That's where Lennox was sitting in his little car seat. Border officials say Banda is a Mexican national in the country illegally. He's been deported 15 times in 15 years.
Villa Lopez has a sordid story that includes a prior deportation and identity fraud, in addition to the sexual assault of a friend's teenage daughter.
But I have a simple message today for every gang member and criminal alien. We will find you, we will arrest you, we will jail you, and we will deport you.
He was deported a whopping 8 times, suspected in a deadly hit and run earlier this week.
He's charged with sex abuse, sodomy, burglary, robbery, assault, and kidnapping. Court records show he's been deported and returned 20 different times.
The father of 2 killed in a horrifying crash. Police say that the driver was a drunk, unlicensed, illegal immigrant.
According to an ICE news release, he is a known gang member and has been previously deported 4 times.
Tonight, police say an illegal immigrant with a blood alcohol level 3 times the legal limit slammed into the back of an SUV carrying a family of 4. He had been arrested just hours before this crash.
A woman telling deputies she was sure she was going to die after deputies say this man, Juan Ortega Orozco, broke into her home and crept into her bed.
He's in this country illegally. He has a rich criminal history of violating the law.
In the past 2 years, he's been charged with 5 felonies, including trafficking meth and leaving the scene of a crash.
Jermaine Daniels says in a change from under the Obama administration, federal agents now appear to be rounding up any undocumented person they come in contact with.
Federal agents eating breakfast 1 minute, arresting restaurant staff the next.
Illegal border crossings are down reportedly 70%. Arrests inside the country are up 40%, and demands for removal up 80% as well.
But, you know, we can't apologize for enforcing the law. If you break the law, that's a choice that you make, and there are consequences for that.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
Nourish a probiotic-friendly environment in your gut with prebiotic fiber by InfoWars Life. Help the good bacteria thrive and support overall digestive health with our specially formulated prebiotic fiber, a mixture of clinically studied and organic acacia, fruit, and flax fiber. Prebiotic fiber is soluble fiber that ferments in the gut to help feed good bacteria, which helps you digest food, absorb nutrients, and even supports your immune system. InfoWars Life's cutting-edge formula only brings you the highest quality, organic, and clinically studied ingredients. Cheap prebiotic fibers are used up only at the beginning of the colon, but our premium organic acacia fiber is slowly digested by the good bacteria throughout the entire colon for maximum prebiotic effect. Head to InfoWarsLife.com or call 1-888-253-3139.